The chamber of the Galactic Council was larger than any stadium on Earth. 1,000 banners of alien empires hung from the ceiling, glowing with strange lights. The air hummed with power. Rows upon rows of alien leaders filled the tiers, their faces sharp with curiosity, fear, and hunger. At the center of the chamber, resting on a black pedestal, was the eternal suit. It did not look like much at first glance. Silver plates, thin lines of ancient runes, a chest plate that pulsed faintly with light. Yet everyone in that chamber knew what it was. The oldest relic in the galaxy. A weapon said to be older than the Council itself. A suit of armor that, when worn, could turn one soldier into a living fleet. For centuries, the empires had fought, schemed, and killed for the right to try it. Now, under the Council's watch, candidates would be tested. Whoever it accepted would be master of the stars. The first challenger stepped forward, a towering reptilian warlord. His scales glistened under the Council lights. With pride, he thrust his arms into the armor. For a heartbeat, the chamber went silent. The runes flared, then burned red. The warlord screamed as fire shot across his body. In seconds, he collapsed into ash, the armor spitting him out like waste. Gasps filled the council hall. Some looked afraid. Others smirked. Next, a mantis-like commander stepped forward. Its claws clicked as it slid into the suit. The runes flickered green this time. For 1 second, hope rose. Then the plates tightened, crushing the insectoid's chest with a sickening crack. The alien screeched, then fell still. The armor released him, tossing his broken body to the floor. Again, the whispers filled the chamber. Cursed, dangerous, not for us. Still, the trials continued. A dozen species tried. All failed. Some burned. Some suffocated. Some were simply drained. Their bodies left cold and empty, and the armor remained. Waiting at the upper tiers, alien leaders argued loudly. This relic is too dangerous. No, it will serve my empire once the correct candidate is found. It rejects us all. Perhaps the legends were lies. But then, one voice cut through the noise. The High Speaker, a long-robed figure with eyes like twin suns, stood. Silence. This relic is not broken. It is choosing, and it has chosen no one. Yet, the chamber quieted, and for the first time fear crept into their voices. What if, whispered a gray-skinned elder, it was never made for aliens at all? The idea spread like fire. Leaders shifted nervously. Impossible. Blasphemy. And yet, why else would it reject every empire? The eternal suit pulsed faintly, as if mocking their confusion. Then the great chamber doors groaned open. 2 guards dragged in a prisoner. He was small compared to the giants of the council, barely 2 meters tall, wrapped in chains, beaten but unbroken. His hair was dark, his eyes sharp with anger and confusion. His uniform, torn and bloodied, bore the symbol of a world many of the council considered little more than dirt. Earth. Murmurs erupted instantly. A human. Why is this vermin brought here? They are primitives, barely beyond their own moon. The guards shoved the human to the floor. He coughed, spitting blood, then raised his head to glare at the assembly of alien leaders. The High Speaker's voice echoed. Bring him forward. The crowd roared in laughter. Some jeered. Others demanded his execution. Yet none could stop what was about to happen. The human was dragged to the pedestal. He struggled, but the guards forced him down. The eternal suit stirred, its faint glow brightening. The human froze. He felt something like a whisper in the back of his mind. Do not fear. Step closer. The chamber gasped as the armor lifted itself slightly from the pedestal, floating toward him. Hissed an insectoid senator. This cannot be. The guards tried to pull him back, but the armor clamped onto his wrists, his chest, his shoulders. Instead of crushing him, instead of burning him, it glowed bright and golden, filling the chamber with blinding light. The laughter stopped. The jeers fell silent. The eternal suit accepted him. For the first time in centuries, it lived. The high speaker's staff fell to the floor. His voice shook, almost breaking. By the stars. It is chosen. Every alien in the chamber stared in shock, disbelief, or horror, and the human prisoner, eyes wide, whispered only one word. The suit pulsed in answer, the runes blazing brighter, as though the galaxy itself now held its breath. The chamber was no longer silent. It thundered with voices, claws, and fists. Alien leaders screamed, argued, and cursed as the eternal suit wrapped itself around the human. Lights from holoscreens flickered across the chamber, broadcasting the impossible scene to every corner of the galaxy. A human and insignificant prisoner from a backwater world was wearing the relic that had killed hundreds, and it was alive for him. The silver plates sealed across his chest. The glowing runes carved themselves into the armor, lines of golden light crawling across his skin. A helmet formed around his head, its visor burning with fire. The human gasped, his body trembling. At first it felt heavy, unbearable, like an entire planet pressing down on him. But then the weight shifted, becoming balance, becoming strength. His heart raced. His lungs filled with new power. His vision sharpened until he could see every detail of the vast chamber, and in his mind, a voice spoke. You are the one. Humanity endures. Humanity fights. Together, we rise. He staggered, whispering. It's speaking to me. The words echoed through the chamber. An insectoid commander shrieked, slamming its claws on the railing. This cannot be allowed. End him now? Several guards raised their weapons, but before they could fire, a shockwave pulsed from the suit. A golden wave of energy hurled the guards across the chamber. Weapons shattered, armor cracked. The human hadn't even moved, yet the suit defended him. The crowd gasped in horror. The impossible was now undeniable. At the upper tiers, a reptilian warlord leaned forward, his scales glistening. If the suit has chosen him, then he commands the galaxy's greatest weapon. That makes Earth. Dangerous Earth. Another hissed. That dirt world of savages. They cannot be allowed to rise. Destroy him now, before it is too late. The high speaker raised his staff, but even his voice trembled. The eternal suit has chosen. No council vote, no fleet, no law can undo what we have seen. If we kill the chosen, the relic may never awaken again. Arguments exploded. But all eyes kept drifting back to the human. He stood tall now, the armor pulsing as though alive. His chains had melted away, dissolved by the suit's energy. The golden visor reflected the council's thousands of horrified faces. The human clenched his fists. For the first time, he did not feel weak. For the first time, the galaxy was staring at him not with contempt, but with fear. Beyond the chamber, alarms wailed. Fleet Command detected surges of impossible power radiating from the armor. Starships in orbit reported sensors fried, systems overloaded. The glow of the relic reached past the council chamber. Spilling into the skies of the alien capital itself, billions looked up and saw a golden light piercing the darkness. The galaxy had just learned the truth. The relic was no myth. It was alive, and it had chosen humanity. Inside the suit, the human's thoughts raced. Why me? Why Earth? The voice answered again, like a whisper from the stars themselves. Because you endure when all others fall. Because where others yield, humanity rises. He felt a surge of visions. Cities burning on Earth, yet rebuilt again and again. Soldiers fighting with nothing but courage. Generations refusing to surrender even when hope was gone. The armor remembered them all, every war, every act of defiance, and now it remembered him. The insectoid commander screeched, pointing a claw at the human. If he lives, the balance is broken. Summon the assassins. End this. From the shadows, figures emerged, dark-robed killers armed with plasma blades. They leaped from the balconies, descending on the human-like predators. The council roared in approval. This was their last chance to erase the mistake before it spread too far. The human raised his arms, unsure of what to do. The assassins closed in. Then the armor moved for him. Golden tendrils of light erupted from his chest, snapping through the air like whips. The assassins were thrown back, crashing against the walls. One managed to strike, blade flashing, but the weapon melted on contact with the armor. The human staggered, breathing hard. He hadn't even thought yet the suit had acted, protecting him, was fighting for him. The council chamber fell into stunned silence. The high speaker's staff clattered to the floor. His voice was a whisper now. It is true. The relic lives again, and it is chosen. Humanity. All across the galaxy, through live feeds and broadcasts, alien worlds watched with shock and fear. On distant planets, leaders stared at their screens, horrified. Civilizations that had ruled for millennia felt their power slipping away. A single human now carried the most powerful weapon in history, and the galaxy would never be the same. The human raised his head. His voice, steady but unsure, echoed across the chamber. I didn't ask for this, but if you try to kill me, if you threaten my people, I will fight. The armor pulsed. Golden light spilling like fire into the vast chamber. The council trembled. Alien soldiers backed away. For the first time in memory, fear ran through the galaxy's rulers. But in the shadows of the chamber, far from the light, something else stirred. A cloaked figure, unseen by most, whispered in a language older than the council itself. The suit awakens again, but it does not know its true master. Not yet. The betrayer's voice slithered into the dark. Let the galaxy tremble. Soon, humanity will learn the price of defiance. The galaxy could not look away. Every world, every fleet, every soldier watched the live broadcast replaying again and again. The eternal suit had accepted a human. The impossible had become real. On the alien capital, humans stood inside the glowing armor, the council chamber still trembling from the power it had unleashed. Thousands of alien leaders muttered in panic, and yet none dared approach. The human's heart pounded. His breath echoed inside the helmet. He had never been a soldier, never a chosen warrior. He was just a man captured during an alien raid, thrown into chains. And yet the armor clung to him, as though it had waited for this moment. Why me? He whispered again. The armor answered in a voice only he could hear. Because humanity has what others lack. You endure, you rise. You fight, even when broken. The words sent a chill down his spine. Images poured into his mind, memories, not his own. He saw Earth burning, not once, but many times. He saw the fall of cities, the crash of bombs, the rise of warlords, and the endless struggle to survive. He saw soldiers in trenches, outnumbered but never surrendering. He saw explorers pushing beyond the stars, refusing to be confined. The vision was overwhelming. A flood of humanity's history, pain, and defiance woven together. The armor's voice thundered. The others sought only power. You seek survival. That is why you were chosen. The human staggered, gripping his head. His vision blurred. Yet at his core, he felt something awaken. Pride. Not for himself, but for his people. For humanity around him, the alien council panicked. A crystalline senator hissed, its body glowing with agitation. If this spreads, the balance of the galaxy will collapse. Every empire will fear the humans. Every fleet will turn against Earth. A reptilian warlord slammed his clawed fist, then let it collapse. The relic is a weapon. Whoever controls the human controls the galaxy. The high speaker raised his trembling staff. The relic cannot be controlled. It is chosen freely, and we must accept the consequences. But even as he spoke, shadows stirred. The assassins had failed, but new plots were already forming. Humanity's rise meant the fall of countless alien empires, and none would let it happen without a fight. The human heard none of it. His eyes still glowed behind the visor. Lost in the visions the armor revealed. He saw fleets gathering at the edge of Earth's skies. Warships like mountains, their cannons blazing. He saw alien soldiers marching across shattered cities. He saw the faces of his people, frightened but unbroken. Children clutching their parents, soldiers standing in craters, civilians raising makeshift weapons. the armor whispered. They will come for your world. They will burn it to test you. And you must be ready. The human clenched his fists. For the first time, he believed. Not in himself, but in the strength of his species. Suddenly, the chamber shook. Alarms screamed through the council city. Massive holoscreens lit up with red alerts. Incoming transmission, outer systems, BR, CETA gasps rippled across the chamber. On the screens, a colossal fleet appeared, Dalian warships, shaped like blades and thorns, stretching across the stars. Engines burned like dying suns. It was not just any fleet, it was the betrayers. The mysterious figure from the shadows had revealed his power. He was no simple whisper. He commanded an armada large enough to tear apart entire systems. The betrayer's hologram appeared above the chamber. His hooded face sneered, his voice dripping with venom. So, the suit has awakened, and it chose. A human. Laughter echoed like thunder. Pathetic. Do you think one primitive world can wield my creation? You will break. And when you do, Earth will burn. The council trembled. Leaders shouted. Fleets scrambled. But the betrayer's ships already closed in. The human's visor flared with golden fire. He stared at the hologram. You call us weak. But you don't know us. We don't break. The betrayer's grin widened. Then prove it. Defend your world. I will enjoy watching you fail. The hologram vanished. The human turned to the council. You fear me. You laugh at my people. But if Earth falls, your worlds will be next. If you want to live, stand with us. No one spoke. Fear chained their tongues. The human's jaw tightened. Fine, then humanity will stand alone. The armor pulsed again, brighter this time and for a moment. Every starship in orbit felt its power surge through their systems like a warning, or a promise. On Earth, night skies lit up as alien fleets dropped into orbit. Shadows stretched across oceans. Cities screamed in terror as the first bombardments began. The human felt it all. The armor's bond tied him to his people's fear, their pain, their courage. He could hear their voices. He could feel their defiance. And deep inside, knew this was only the beginning. In the shadows of the chamber, the betrayer's agents whispered. He believes the suit makes him strong, but soon he will learn its price. And then humanity will beg for mercy. Earth is under siege. The galaxy watches. One human, bound to the armor, must watch his world burn. The council chamber shook with alarms. Red light washed across the walls. Holographic displays showed the betrayer's fleet blotting out the stars, thousands of warships, their cannons charged with deadly light. Panic swept through the alien leaders. Voices overlapped, a storm of fear and rage. They've breached the outer systems. Those warships are larger than cities. We must evacuate the capital at once. The high speaker slammed his staff, but his voice quivered. Silence. The council will not scatter like frightened beasts. Yet even he could not hide the fear in his eyes. At the center of the chamber, the human stood in the eternal suit. Golden light pulsed from his chest, clashing against the red glow of the alarms. His visor reflected the chaos alien rulers, once proud and unshaken, but trembling. The armor's voice echoed in his mind. They argue. They flee. They have forgotten what it means to fight. But you, human, you will remind them. The human clenched his fists. He felt the suit's energy flooding through him, connecting to every system in the council city. Lights flickered. Weapons powered up. Starships in orbit shuddered, as if the armor's heartbeat pulsed through their engines. Alien leaders noticed. Their panic deepened. The relic is controlling our ships. He means to enslave us all. This is the end of the council. The human raised his voice, loud enough to cut through the storm. You call yourselves leaders? Then lead. The betrayer's fleet won't stop with Earth. When my world falls, your worlds are next. If you want to live, stand and fight with us. His words echoed through the chamber, translated into 100 alien tongues. Some leaders lowered their heads in shame. Others spat in anger. The crystalline senator hissed, its body cracking with light. You are a thief. That relic is not yours. It is ours. We will not bow to a human. The reptilian warlord snarled back. Fool, can't you see? The armor has chosen. If we destroy him, the galaxy burns with him. Arguments erupted again. Louder, uglier. Fists slammed. Claws scraped. Tentacles thrashed. The council, once the galaxy's symbol of order, was unraveling. Outside, the betrayer's fleet moved closer. One dreadnought fired a warning shot, a beam of energy that sliced through a distant moon. The explosion lit up the skies. Billions of civilians across the alien capital screamed in terror. Inside the chamber, a hologram of the betrayer appeared again, towering above them all. His hooded face sneered. Look at you. Bickering, afraid, broken. You once ruled the stars, and now you tremble before me. My fleet will consume your worlds, one by one. And when Earth is ash, humanity's chosen will kneel. The hologram's eyes locked on the human. You wear my creation, boy, but you do not control it. Soon, it will devour you. Then the hologram vanished. Leaving silence in its wake, the human took a step forward, the golden armor flaring brighter. You're wrong. Humanity doesn't kneel. For a heartbeat, the chamber quieted. The alien leader stared at him, not with respect. Not yet. But with something else. Curiosity. Could he really stand against such power? The armor's voice whispered again. Show them. Show them the strength of humanity. The human raised his hand. Energy surged outward, creating a golden map in the era star chart of the Milky Way. On one side, Earth's small fleet blinked weakly. On the other, the betrayer's dreadnoughts loomed like giants. The difference was impossible to ignore. The human's voice was steady. We are outnumbered. We are outgunned. But we are not broken. Humanity has fought worse odds before, and we survived. Stand with us now, and you might survive too. Some alien leaders looked away in shame. Others muttered in fear. But deep down, the truth struck them. Without humanity, they had no chance. Suddenly, the chamber doors burst open. Soldiers stumbled in, covered in smoke and blood. They're here, one shouted. The betrayer's assassins are inside the city. Gasps filled the council. As if summoned by fear, the shadows in the chamber deepened. Dozens of cloaked figures appeared on the balconies, blades glowing with dark fire. The assassins had returned this time in force. The council screamed in panic. Leaders scattered. Guards raised weapons. The human turned, visor blazing. His voice was calm, cold. If it's a fight they want. The armor erupted in golden fire, flooding the chamber with light. Then humanity will show them how we fight. The council chamber erupts into battle alien assassins swarming. The human glowing in the eternal suit, about to face them all, far from the chaos of the alien council. Earth trembled. The night sky over the Atlantic split apart as the betrayer's fleet descended. Warships larger than mountains blotted out the stars, their engines burning like dying suns. The oceans churned as their shadows swept across the world in New York. Skyscrapers glowed under the crimson light of the invading fleet. In Beijing, citizens rushed into shelters as sirens screamed. Across deserts, forests, and frozen poles. Every human lifted their eyes to the sky and saw death coming. The first attack came without warning. A dreadnought fired a single shot. A beam of pure energy cut through the atmosphere, striking the Pacific. In seconds, an island chain vanished beneath boiling seas. The explosion shook half the planet, sending tidal waves racing across oceans. People screamed. Soldiers scrambled. Yet amidst the terror, humanity did not break. On every continent, armed forces mobilized. Fleets of jets roared into the sky. Submarines surfaced, launching missiles. Orbital defense satellites powered up. Locking onto alien ships, the united Earth fleet small compared to the betrayer's armada, but hardened by desperation rose to meet the invaders. High above the planet, The first clash began. Human destroyers darted between the colossal alien warships, firing railguns and nuclear-tipped torpedoes. Alien shields blazed as explosions lit up the void, though outnumbered 100-1. Earth's ships fought like wolves against giants. Aboard the flagship Resolute, Admiral Harris stood unflinching, his eyes fixed on the holographic battlefield. "We can't win this fight," he muttered, "but we'll make them bleed." "Sir, enemy dreadnought, moving into range. Target its weak points. Fire everything." Missiles streaked through space, slamming into the enemy vessel's engines. For a moment, the colossal warship faltered. Cheers erupted across the Resolute. But then the dreadnought roared back, its cannons unleashing hell. A dozen human ships vanished in fire. On the ground, cities burned. In Paris, alien dropships speared through the sky, disgorging armored warriors. They marched through streets with plasma rifles, cutting down everything in their path. But humanity met them with fire. Tanks rolled through barricades. Civilians hurled Molotovs from rooftops. Resistance fighters struck from shadows, refusing to surrender. One alien commander snarled, "Primitive creatures. Do they not know this is hopeless?" Yet every human they killed was replaced by two more. Fighting with desperation in their eyes, humanity had been underestimated. Dash again, back in the council chamber. The human in the eternal suit felt it all, through the armor's bond. He sensed his people's fear, pain, and defiance. He saw soldiers making last stands, pilots diving their jets into enemy warships, civilians forming human chains to protect children. Each act of courage burned like fire in his chest. The armor's voice whispered, "They endure. They resist. They will not kneel." This is humanity's strength. But it also warned, they cannot hold forever. If you do not return to them soon, Earth will fall. The assassins attacked inside the council chamber. Chaos erupted as cloaked killers descended upon the alien leaders. Plasma blades flashed, screams echoed, guards died. The human fought at the center, the eternal suit blazing like a sun. Every movement shattered assassins. Every strike unleashed waves of golden energy. But for every foe he cut down, two more appeared. Their blades seemed drawn to him, desperate to destroy the chosen bearer of the armor. The high speaker cried out, "Protect him! If he falls, we all fall." Yet the human's focus wavered not from fear, but from the visions of Earth. His people were dying, and he was trapped here. Oceans away in the heart of the alien capital, in orbit above Earth. Admiral Harris gave his final command. "All ships, form the line. Hold them back as long as you can." For Earth, the fleet obeyed without hesitation. Dozens of battered vessels turned to face the enemy dreadnoughts. The alien armada unleashed a storm of plasma fire. The void lit up like a sun as ship after ship exploded. The Resolute trembled, fire ripping across its hull. The admiral stood tall on the bridge. "If this is the end," he said, "let it be one they'll never forget." The flagship dove into the enemy's heart, its reactor overloading. A brilliant explosion tore through space, destroying half a dozen alien cruisers. Billions on Earth saw the blast from below, and though tears filled their eyes, their hearts swelled with pride. Humanity had struck back. On the alien capital, the eternal suit pulsed with fury. The humans staggered, overwhelmed by the loss. He saw the Resolute sacrifice. He felt the death of every soul aboard, and he heard the armor whisper once more, "You see now, humanity will fight until the stars themselves burn. But you must choose, will you lead them, or will they die without you?" The human raised his glowing fists, eyes blazing. "I will lead. I swear it." Golden fire erupted from the armor, sweeping across the council chamber. The assassins faltered, their shadows burning away. Every alien leader stared, stunned. For the first time, they did not laugh at the human. They feared him. But outside Earth, the betrayer's fleet still loomed. Untouched, the human could feel it, the worst was yet to come. Earth burns under alien invasion. The human, still trapped in the council, must find a way to return before his world falls. The assassins were ash. The council chamber was cracked and smoking, its walls scorched by the eternal suit's golden fire. Alien leaders cowered behind broken pillars, their guards lying lifeless at their feet. At the center stood the human breathing hard, fists glowing, eyes burning like suns. The eternal suit pulsed, as if alive, its voice echoing in his mind. You have chosen to lead. Now face the price. Before he could ask what it meant, the air split apart. A colossal hologram filled the chamber. The betrayer appeared, towering, cloaked, his face hidden in shadow. But this time, the image felt different, sharper, more real. As if he stood among them, alien leaders screamed. Some tried to flee, but the doors sealed with a tunlick. The betrayer's voice was cold and smooth. Running will not save you. The game is already mine. The human raised his fist. Your fleet is slaughtering billions. If you want me, stop the attack. Face me yourself. The betrayer's laughter rolled like thunder. Brave words. But foolish, you still do not understand what you wear. The eternal suit vibrated. Its golden glow dimmed, flickering like a candle in wind. The human staggered, clutching his chest. He is its maker, the armor whispered weakly. Long ago, he forged me not for protection, but for domination. The human's blood ran cold. The betrayer spread his arms. Now you see, this relic was never meant to save. It was built to enslave. Every chosen bearer before you bent to my will, and soon, so will you, the alien council gasped. The crystalline senator cried, Lies. The relic is sacred. The reptilian warlord hissed, No, it explains everything. Why it rejected us. Why it obeys him. The chamber erupted in shouting. Some demanded the human surrender the armor. Others begged him to fight. The human dropped to one knee. The suit tightened around him, suffocating. Dark tendrils of energy crawled across its surface, as though the betrayer's will seeped into its very core. Stop. Fighting, the betrayer whispered. Let it consume you. Through you, I will command humanity itself. Your people will be my army, your world my forge. The human screamed, forcing himself to rise. His veins burned like fire. The suit flared with light, struggling between gold and black. The armor's voice quivered. I was forged for chains, but your people, they changed me. Your defiance feeds me. If you endure, I will endure. The betrayer's grin widened. Yes, resist. Break yourself against me. Your courage only hastens the fall. On Earth, the invasion worsened. Alien dreadnoughts rained fire on every continent. Cities crumbled. Skies burned red. Humanity fought with savage determination, pilots diving their jets into alien warships. Civilians arming themselves with whatever they could find. Yet resistance was fading. Above Africa, the last carrier group was annihilated. Over South America, plasma storms reduced forests to ash. Billions cried out for hope, and the human in the council chamber felt every voice. There, his pain tore through him like knives. Please, he whispered, don't let me fail them. The armor pulsed again. Your strength is theirs. Their strength is yours. Remember that. The betrayer raised his hand. A black chain of energy lashed out, striking the human. The council chamber shook as the chain wrapped around his body, dragging him to the floor. The human roared, golden flames erupting as he fought back. The clash lit the chamber brighter than a sun, blinding every witness. Alien leaders shielded their eyes. Some fled deeper into tunnels. Others dropped to their knees, unable to bear the power. The betrayer's voice thundered. Kneel, human. Accept your place. The stars are mine. You cannot change that. The human spat blood, his visor glowing fiercely. Humanity doesn't kneel. Not to you. Not to anyone. Golden light surged, burning away the black chains. The chamber shook as the eternal suit blazed brighter than ever before. The betrayer recoiled, but only slightly. His laughter returned, cold and endless. Good. Very good. Defiance makes the fall so much sweeter. He raised his hand again, and this time the hologram shattered into reality. The betrayer himself stepped into the chamber. Not a shadow, not an image, but flesh and blood, tall as a warlord, cloaked in obsidian armor, his eyes burned with void fire. Every alien leader collapsed to their knees in terror. The betrayer's voice was calm, almost gentle. Now, little human, let us see if your defiance can survive me. The betrayer himself has entered the council chamber face to face with the human wearing the eternal suit. The true battle is about to begin. The chamber fell, silent. The betrayer stood in the flesh, his obsidian armor swallowing the light. His presence so heavy that alien leaders dropped their heads, trembling. His eyes glowed like black sun's voids that threatened to devour everything. Across from him, the human rose slowly. The eternal suit shimmered gold, fighting to hold its glow against the betrayer's shadow. Sparks of light and darkness clashed between them, filling the air with static so thick it rattled the bones of every witness. The high speaker whispered in awe to Titans. In one room, the betrayer's voice was smooth, calm to calm. You think you've changed the armor? You think humanity makes it strong? But it was born from my will. You will break, just as all before you broke. The human's visor blazed, his chest heaving as he drew strength from the countless voices of Earth still fighting, still resisting. No, he said firmly. You made chains. Humanity makes fire, and fire can burn even gods. The betrayer's grin widened. Then burn. He struck first. A wave of black energy blasted across the chamber, shattering stone pillars, ripping through guards, throwing alien leaders against walls like leaves in a storm. The human crossed his arms, golden shields flaring. The impact rattled his bones, but he stood firm. Sparks of gold and black scattered like meteors. The armor's voice urged him, strike back. Show him what humanity is. The human lunged. His fist, glowing like a star, crashed against the betrayer's chest. The chamber lit up with blinding light, the shockwave cracking the marble floor. The betrayer barely moved. He chuckled, dark smoke leaking from the strike. Not bad. For prey. Then his hand shot forward, seizing the human by the throat. He slammed him into the ground so hard the chamber shook like an earthquake. Alien leaders screamed, scattering like insects, but the human rose again, coughing blood but unbroken. His visor burned hotter. The armor pulsed brighter around them. Assassins and guards stopped fighting. Frozen by the sight of the two titans clashing, the human charged again, unleashing a barrage of golden strikes. Each punch echoed like thunder. Each blast shook the capital to its core. The betrayer blocked them with one hand. His dark aura thickened, wrapping around the human like chains. With every blow, he whispered into his mind, "Your courage is fuel. Your defiance is weakness. Your people will burn, and it will be your fault." The human roared, breaking free, slamming his glowing fist into the betrayer's mask. For the first time, as cracks spread across the black steel, the entire chamber gasped. The betrayer touched the crack, then looked at the human with eyes full of fury. "You dare." The temperature dropped. Darkness poured from him like a storm, swallowing the light. The chamber dimmed, alien leaders shrieking in terror. The human fought against the tide, his armor blazing brighter. Brighter until the two forces collided in a storm of light and shadow that split the chamber in half. On Earth, the battle raged on. Cities burned, oceans boiled, fleets shattered. Yet humanity kept fighting. In London, soldiers stood in the rubble of Buckingham Palace, firing until their rifles melted. In Tokyo, civilians armed with stolen alien weapons ambushed invaders in alleys. Every act of defiance sent strength surging back into the human. He felt it all, their unbreakable spirit feeding the suit. The armor whispered, "They fight for you. Now fight for them," the human roared, unleashing a golden blast that pushed the betrayer back. The ground cracked. Walls shattered. For the first time, the Dark Titan staggered. Alien leaders stared in shock. Could the impossible truly be happening? The betrayer steadied himself. His smile was gone. His voice was venom. Enough games. He raised both hands and space itself bent. The ceiling above them split open, revealing the stars and the betrayer's fleet orbiting above. Dreadnoughts turned. Cannons aiming directly at the council capital. Gasps filled the chamber. If I cannot take the suit by will, the betrayer said coldly, I will take it by fire. Let your world burn with you. The alien leader screamed. He will destroy us all. We must flee. No, stop him. But none could move. The betrayer's shadow pinned them in place. The human looked up at the massive fleet overhead. Cannons glowing, ready to erase everything. His fists tightened. His visor glowed. His heart thundered. Then let's see, he whispered. If humanity can burn brighter than your darkness, the eternal suit erupted. In golden fire so blinding that every ship in orbit blinked in warning. The betrayer has unleashed his fleet on the council capital, thousands of warships preparing to fire. The human must decide whether to save the aliens who once mocked him, or abandon them to save Earth. The skies split open through the shattered roof of the council chamber. The betrayer's fleet loomed above, dreadnoughts turning like predators. Their cannons glowed, ready to fire. One volley would erase the alien capital, killing billions in with it. The last hope of uniting the galaxy. The betrayer raised his hand. Watch, human. Watch as I end this world, and with it your resistance. Then Earth will follow. Alien leaders fell to their knees, trembling. The High Speaker wept openly. It is the end. But the human stood tall, the eternal suit blazing with golden fire. His visor reflected the stars, his voice steady. No, humanity doesn't end like this. The betrayer sneered. You cannot stop my fleet. Their cannons burn with my will. The human's fists glowed brighter. Then I'll burn brighter. He raised both arms. The eternal suit pulsed like a star, sending shockwaves through the chamber. Alien technology flickered. Ships in orbit shuddered. For a moment, every system in range synced to his heartbeat. The armor's voice thundered inside his mind. Warning, overload will consume you. To save them, you must pay the price. The human closed his eyes. He saw Earth's cities burning, children hiding, soldiers still fighting. He saw his people refusing to kneel, even as the stars themselves turned against them, and he whispered, Then take everything I have. The betrayer roared. Fool, you cannot defy me. Dark energy lashed out, chains of shadow wrapping around the human. But this time, the armor did not falter. Golden flames surged, burning away the chains, climbing higher, brighter, until the chamber looked as though a second sun had ignited within. The human raised his voice, every word echoing across the galaxy. You wanted chains? Humanity made fire, and fire spreads. Above, the betrayer's fleet fired. Thousands of beams of plasma tore through the skies, screaming toward the council world. The human leapt. Golden wings of energy erupted from the armor, carrying him through the ruined ceiling into the void of space itself. Alien leaders and assassins alike froze, watching in disbelief as he soared like a comet into the heavens. He raised his arms. The eternal suit flared one final time. The beams met him head-on. The galaxy held its breath. The explosion was beyond anything ever seen. Light engulfed the skies, washing over fleets, cities, and worlds. Every ship trembled. Every soldier froze. For a moment, night became day across half the galaxy. When the light faded, the impossible had happened. The betrayer's volley was gone. Thousands of beams erased, dissolved into golden fire. His dreadnoughts reeled, shields cracked. Formations shattered. The human floated at the center of the void, blazing like a sun. His armor fractured, his body trembling. But he was still alive. Earth's defenders saw it. Resistance fighters across cities saw it. Civilians in shelters saw it. Even alien worlds far beyond the capital saw it. A single human, standing against the dark, had stopped the unstoppable. The betrayer screamed, his calm mask shattered at last. Shadows boiled around him. No, this is mine. The stars are mine. He hurled himself into space, colliding with the human in a storm of black and gold. Their clash rattled planets, rippled through the void like thunder. Alien leaders could only watch as gods of light and shadow battled in the skies. The armor's voice whispered faintly to the human, "One last choice. Destroy him. But it may destroy you as well." The human gritted his teeth, every muscle burning. He thought of Earth. He thought of every soldier, every child, every voice that had whispered into him through the armor he chose. With a roar that shook the heavens, he drove his fist through the betrayer's chest. Golden light erupted, consuming the shadow. The betrayer screamed as cracks split across his body, void fire leaking into the stars. "No, not by prey. Not by you," he shattered, dissolving into dust. The human collapsed, floating in silence. The eternal suit flickered, its golden glow fading to embers. Back on Earth, the skies cleared. Alien warships broke apart, leaderless, their weapons falling silent. Across the world, cheers erupted. Soldiers embraced. Civilians wept. Humanity had survived. In the council chamber, alien leaders stared at the fading golden light in the heavens. None laughed now. None doubted. One whispered, "This is humanity." The human drifted in space, eyes heavy. The armor's voice whispered softly, "You gave everything. Yet because of you, humanity lives. And so does hope." His vision dimmed. The last thing he saw was Earth, blue and fragile, shining in the distance. And he smiled. The betrayer is gone, humanity has proven itself, but the eternal suit drifts silently in space, waiting for the day it will be needed again